How are you guys doing?
Like, I've missed her so much. Like, I miss the I love yous that we used to get from her.
I can't do it. I can't. Like, my life is over. Like, I'm suffering every day. It's a struggle.
And then I got to the mortuary after my grandmother had been in the fridge for some time. I was like, take her out.
And now we had to learn to survive, just the two of us.
I think if we were not together, we would have probably been raped. Then just one night, he walked in to our bedroom and then literally just tried it.
Did he like come in between you guys? Was his wife home?
Yes.
You guys, I'm shocked. Well, he's a pastor, so okay. Hi guys, how are you guys doing? It's your girl Owamie Nachvazalo, aka Miss Pia Focal, and welcome back to my channel. Because this is the Centtwinz, but it's an Owamie takeover.
Come on.
The part 2 that you guys have been waiting for, and of course you guys knew I had to fight to come back. I'm kidding. How are you guys doing? It's so nice to actually have you guys see me here again. So hi guys, welcome to my channel.
Listen, we are so happy to be with you again.
Yes.
I mean, the moment you see you, we just start talking. We have so much to talk about.
I
keep
know.
saying, the medicine keeps saying that, right? And guess what? When we're doing our makeup in the morning, she said to me, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, you've been saying you want a part 2. Now you're asking me what we're going to talk about. I'm like, excuse me, sweetheart. Owamie's not coming all the way to Centtwinz TV and then you don't have content to talk about. But we're really thrilled to have you back. It was an honor having you the first time. And we're still grateful.
People love
again.
you, Shem.
Yes.
Guys, Milandi loved. I am loved.
We love you. Let's not talk for other people. We love you.
And I love you guys too, of course.
Thank you.
Okay. So obviously last time, we sat here, we were talking. I was like, we need a part 2 because I definitely need to know about, you guys being married, and just, personal life. Obviously, you guys know me. If for some of you guys that don't know, I'm an award-winning entertainment blogger. So gossip is my thing, so I need to know. Definitely. But before we actually start, obviously, I think that a lot of you guys will know that you guys did lose your grandmom.
Yes.
And I think
you were there. Thank you for being there for us.
You're welcome. There was no way I
when we
was
came
not
to the
gonna
funeral,
come.
she was really there for us. Like, you really just like stepped up as a friend. And I think that in our industries, it's rare. To really get friends, but you really, really just showed up for us, and it means so much. You were there for us when we needed you the most, in the most darkest times, and she brought us flowers today, guys. Thank you.
Of course, because I had not actually gotten new flowers. I actually, I secretly took my love's numbers at the funeral, and I was like, I'm gonna send them flowers. Like, you're gonna give me the address, and it's been so busy, man. And then I was like, since I'm seeing you guys today, I might as well just bring your flowers.
That's sweet.
So these are flowers that were supposed to come a long time ago. But just for us to know, how are you guys doing? Let me start with you, Millie.
Jeez, I think it's been a month or just a little bit more than a month since Gogo passed. I mean, everybody knows that was our queen. She was our everything. In fact, we never thought she'll die. I mean, we're just so used to her. We're just like, hi, other old people die, but this one, she's not going anywhere. We're just like so close to her. We had built such a beautiful relationship. She was our everything. People know this obviously from the part 1 that we're not raised by our parents, we're raised by our grandparents, and my grandmother played a very big role in who and what we are. So losing her was losing a part of ourselves, literally. I think my life has changed, like my perspective of life, the way I breathe, the way I live, everything has changed. Like, I just feel like a part of me left with her. Definitely the deepest pain that we've ever felt, the deepest cut that we've ever felt. And I remember that day so well. We saw the day coming. I don't know if my sister wants to talk about that.
No, wait, I'm not ready to talk about it.
No, it's okay.
It's been very, very hard. Like, it's been so hard. And I actually just want to address this, right, Owamie? For people who come to us and say, your granny was old, why are you guys hurt? Your granny raised you. Why aren't you grateful for why do you grieve this way? Like, what do you mean she was old? We know she was old, but are you saying the pain should be better because of that? So those are the kinds of comments that we get. Like, but at least she was old. At least. Do you understand what we've been through?
Yeah.
Like, it's not at least. This is not an at least moment.
Yeah.
You know, so we get comments like that. And I just want people to be just more sensitive. Because for us, she was more than a grandmother. That's what people don't understand. So for us, it really, really cuts deep. I think even in our personal families, our husbands, our children, shame, I feel bad for them because now
we're different.
We
It's
mourn,
like
shame, we cry. Like,
Yeah.
I know Mate Mashile, friend, she always says, you can cry. But I think we've never cried the way we cried. We cried every day.
Every day. Like, for me, there's no night that I don't cry. There's no day that goes past without crying. Like, I remember yesterday I was in the car and I was driving and like I cried, like I screamed, and I was literally driving and I was like, I don't know whether I should stop the car or just like wait, because for me, the trauma is so real. I always say it's like tangible pain. If there's something like that, like to a point where I'm like, I wish somebody could take it out of me and like put it there so that like I feel like I'm not the same person anymore. You know, so much has changed. I'll never be the innocent, the same person. I feel like my kids have to deal with a different person. My husband has to deal with a different person. My entire life has transformed. My perspective and view of life is affected. And it will just never be the same. I'm learning to live life without to Gogo. I'm learning to depend on, I'm still finding whatever that I need to depend on, because Gogo was to us that person where you don't have to tell her what you're going through. Like, I know when I'm having a bad day or a bad time, like I just need to go and sit, just for the fact that she's here. I feel much better. And even with her, for us being in her presence,
She
like,
used to be so happy.
my grandmother can watch us talk for 2 hours.
Just looking at us.
She's just
like
looking
this.
at us, just.
And then when we leave, she's like, "Yes, happy, Jan. You guys made me the happiest woman." And like, I miss that. Like, I miss her so much. Like, I miss the I love yous that we used to get from her. Like, that woman loved us, like, unconditionally. A love that I felt. Like, I've heard I love you so many times in my life, but it's very few moments where, like, when someone says, I love you, you can feel it. It's, like, tangible. It's real. Yes. I felt it. So it was a different kind of relationship that we had with her. So for us, it was just like, my grandmother passed away at, like, around 5 a.m., they called us around 5:30. Innocent calls me and she says to me, Sisi, get up, get ready. I'm on my way. And like, you knew, because I knew. When the lady called me, she was actually not on duty because our grandmother was at a home. Okay. And so I received a call at 5:30 in the morning. I'll never forget that day. Like, at 5:30 in the morning, my phone rings. But because we knew her condition was so bad, and then when my phone rang, like, I just knew it. Like, I was just expecting it. And the day before, I was with her. We're there every day.
I remember I had a playlist that I played for her because she loved hymns, gospel songs, and so she was just lying there, like, literally lifeless. Like, I felt like my grandmother left a long time ago. She's still breathing, but she was not there anymore. Yeah. And my favorite thing to do was to lie on my grandmother. And I remember I just lied on her. Like,
she's been lying and crying on her. And a week before she died, she was mourning her before.
Yes.
You could see.
And I just put my head on her and I hold her, hug her for like a whole hour, and I play a playlist of just worship songs. Like, and I remember the person was like, God, please accept my grandmother in heaven. This one is not going to hell. This one will enter heaven. And I would lie on her. So I've been mourning that entire week. And when I received that call, and my husband said, oh, what's wrong? Like, the breathing changed. Everything changed at that moment. And the lady who called me, I couldn't hear what she's saying. She just said, something, Gogo, what? "Where perfumula," or it was just like a mixed match of English mixed with Zulu. It was a mess. I couldn't hear her, but I knew what she was saying in my subconscious. Then she sent a voice note because she was in a taxi and going to work. But because she's the senior there, they told her to tell us. And the voice note, I couldn't hear the voice note properly. And then, she sent a voice note. Sorry, I could hear the voice note, but she said something about they waiting for paramedics. She's struggling to breathe, but she thinks she's no more. It was a mess. That communication was broken. And then my husband was like, what? He just woke up and I said, I think Gogo is no more. I called me and I said, Sissy, take a shower now. And immediately she knew also.
My heart, like I've heard this saying so many times, but my heart is beating out of my chest. I mean, we say it so lightly. That day, in my 35 years of living, I felt that feeling. I felt like I could take out my heart and hold it with my hands because it was too painful to keep on my body. The shower door, I couldn't open the shower door. I was shaking. Like I struggled to open the water shower. I stood in the shower and I couldn't breathe. I was just like, what? Everything was in slow-mo.
Literally. Like life stops. And to this day, I don't like my shower. Because that's the first thing I went to. Like every time I look at it, and every time I touch it and I open the water, it's a flashback. It's horrible. I hate taking a shower in that shower of mine. And then like every time I open it, like I'm always shaking every time because it takes me back to that moment. Like it's crazy. And then I remember then my husband came in the bathroom, says, "You okay?" And then he said, "Can I give you a hug?" I said, "No, I don't want a hug." And then he said, "Okay, please can I give you a hug?" When he gave me that, I just broke down. Like I screamed like I just never screamed before. And that lasted for seconds. And I was like, "Can I take a shower?" I took a shower. Gone.
Survival mode. It's like that. Even with me, like I didn't cry. I was just shaking. I was in a moment. Then one of my sons, obviously, you know, the twins are not morning people. My kids are very grumpy in the morning. And then one of them says, "No, I'm not supposed to shower first. My brother's supposed to shower." I just received the call. You know, I just looked at him and tears streamed down my face. I said, "Not today." My child ran. I think he's just never seen me like that. He was so traumatized, like, "I'm talking about a shower. Why are you breaking down?" You know? And then Innocent comes immediately after a shower. I put on my most comfortable shoes. At this time, we don't even have confirmation this is gone, but girl, we knew this is gone. Yeah. I wore my leggings. I'm just like, I'm putting on my gym sneakers because it's going to be a hectic day. I took all my grandmother's documents, IDs, everything. And then, you know, when we got there, wow. Because after the paramedic had left, obviously they had confirmed that she's died. They obviously had covered her and everything. And they closed with white things, like it was just closed. We walked in together with Millie. And I remember just seeing that, the folding white things. We're the first people to get there.
First
before
people to get on the scene. We get there. Now she's covered. They completely covered her. I was like, "Sissy, we have to open here." And
Yeah, it was hectic. And, you know, obviously slept on her like she always does. She was crying, like my grandma was like wet everywhere from her tears. I'm like, you still stop lying on her, you know. But we have different ways of mourning.
That brought me, you know, a part of me was in disbelief. So I uncovered her and I just slept on her chest. But the difference with this time is that yesterday her heart was beating and today her spirit was gone. No heartbeat, no nothing. And I slept on her
for hours.
Because God gave us time to spend with my grandmother after she passed. How the guys at the mortuary took so long? Because it was in the morning, past 6, it was traffic hour. They were coming from Mamelodi. We're in Centurion. I lied on my grandmother. I cried every tear until she was drop dead wet. And I slept, I woke up, I cried, I kissed her, I did everything. And I was like, because I knew that was the last time. I knew, I was like, I ain't getting this hug again.
I mean, guys, I know I'm supposed to be the interview, but these are my friends. So of course I'm gonna get emotional because I love you guys. And I think like for me, just to say, like, from what you guys were saying, I after obviously I saw that your grandmom passed, I'm someone that, guys, like, I'm very talkative, but when it comes to losing a loved one, because I lost my mom,
Hard to say anything.
it's so difficult. I remember
Because
even
you know being on the other side.
Yes. I know, and I remember sending you guys messages, and I'm like, guys,
I
please
don't know
don't
what to
think
say.
like, because I don't know what to say, because I know that
so
grieving, it's such a personal journey. I know you guys are twins, but you're grieving differently, and also like it's such a lonely time, because you're surrounded with everyone, yet you are alone in your pain. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't actually get. And for me, I didn't look at it as, oh, you lost your grandmom. I looked at it as you lost your mom, because she literally raised you guys. So for anyone that would come and say, oh, at least she was old, like, they're senseless. They clearly have never lost a loved one, because a mother is not someone that births you. A mother is someone that mothers you. So the same impact that she has on you guys is the same impact that my mother had for me, because that's the person that actually raised. So I mean, I did see some of the comments and everything, and I think my heart was just so painful, because I was like, you guys are the kindest people I know. And I'm like, why would someone go out of their way to just be mean to someone that is so kind? And I think like that really just also showed me, you know what, Owamie, like, just
there's no loyalty.
There's
out
no
there.
reason.
I remember my grandmother that day after she passed. The people from the mortuary came to take her, and then I think about an hour or two, because we were driving behind the car. It's an excruciating process. It's a traumatic process. You see someone you love from being treated well and getting the best treatment, and when they are dead, it's like they take them, they put them in a plastic, like it's over. It's over. There's no, yes, there's respect, but it's like, it's like they tell you when you're done, it's like, it's a wrap, babes. When they're going to the mortuary, they're going in the fridge, they're going whatever. And then like a part of me just couldn't believe it. And then I got to the mortuary after my grandmother had been in the fridge for some time. I was like, take her out. Take out. They're like, hey. No, I was like, I need to see her again. She's like, I need to check if you put it. And I need to check if she's fine. I need to check if she's dressed well. I need to check if, she's still smiling. You have always been scared of cops, dead people in boxes, because of the trauma we have from our parents, especially my mom dying at a young age. So we have traumas with funerals and boxes and cops, and it's a no-go area. We don't play there, because it's a trigger. When that happens, like, open the fridge, open the box. We're just like in a zone, like
it's a trance. Like I don't even know what to call it.
Autopilot. But we knew we had to take charge to make sure that she gets the best send off. So we had to be strong and just pull ourselves together and like, okay, see, in a couple of days, it's send off day. Let's pull ourselves together. Now, it's time to do things right, so that we send her off in the most beautiful way, And I guess, I'm really, blessed. I think for us to have had people around us who, were very loving and supportive and sensitive. And yeah, I think that helped, Although I fought a lot with my husband that week, I don't want to lie. You want the juice. You want the relationship part of it? I want the juice. Okay. So, I think we're off, Jay. We're off. Because I think he didn't know how to be there for me. And I think it's a conversation that I didn't even want to have until after the funeral, because he kept saying, okay, like, something is off, let's talk. I was just like, not now. Like, it's either you get it or you don't, and right now you don't get it. So can I deal with it after? Because that's just what it is. And I understood, I got it, that just because he's my husband doesn't mean he's going to get where I'm at emotionally and my grieving process. And therefore, emotionally, he was not able to be there for me the way I wanted to be, the way I wanted him to be there for me. But immediately I knew, like from day one, like I knew, Guti, we are off. He doesn't get, Guti, this girl is finished. This girl, emotionally, she is on zero. It's like, do you want breakfast? No, you don't. Should I get it? Okay, no, you're not answering me. So that means you don't want breakfast. I'm just like, yo. Like, you are far from me right now. At this point, you shouldn't even be asking me things like that. Yes, he made sure there's a full tank in my car. I'm able to move around. He was helping where he can. But emotionally, we're on different time zones. So I made a conscious decision to protect my heart and just cut him off for that week emotionally. So I couldn't hear anything he was saying, or I couldn't see anything he was doing until after the funeral.
But are you guys okay now?
No, we are fine.
Talk? Yeah.
No. We definitely spoke about it. But hence I'm saying, because of that week was so sensitive, and I realized that we are not on the same level, I cut that part out, and I dealt with it after. So for me, it was just like, okay, on the day of the funeral, make sure the kids are there at this time. Make sure they're wearing like this and that and that. That's a conversation that we had. And then he literally took care of all the ups and downs, taking the kids to school and back, because obviously we had a funeral to plan. So he took care of all that. He took care of the household, that the kids have dinner and everything. It's the emotional part that I'm talking about, that we're not aligned in that part. And for me, it's a very, very serious thing for me, because emotionally, if you're not aligned at certain part, it's over. Like, you missed the part, you missed it.
I think that one thing that I can actually say, I feel like talking from experience is that when you lose a loved one, as you guys are saying that we feel like we are different.
Yeah.
You guys died the day she passed.
Yeah,
yes.
a part of you dies and you never get it
not
back.
even just a part of you
Yes.
die.
Yeah.
So right now you're like a 1 month old. Do you understand? You have to learn to relive life, because the biggest mistake I feel like that we do is that after we experience something this traumatic, we're like, okay, I'm still the same person. You want to go back to settle to the, but it's impossible. So now you're battling your new self and your old self.
Yes.
And so as much as maybe your husband, he might have been there for you, but he was there for the old Millie. But then now, because the Millie passed, he doesn't know this new Millie that is now born in this week. So he also is unable to emotionally connect because he does not know who you are. And I think that that's something that, especially in the Black community, we really don't talk about the grieving process, because everyone still expects you to still be the same person. And you're not. You died. Like you are going to get to a point where you actually realize that nothing feels the same anymore. Even some of the stuff you used to love, you won't love anymore. There are certain things that were so important to you, because some of us, we make decisions. I remember when my mother passed, I quit school. Because I was literally going to do nursing to make my mother proud. The plan was nursing and then being a doctor. When she passed, I'm like, who am I even doing all this for? Walked out of class and I never looked back, So I think that, definitely that's where it is. And I think also, like, having a spouse, he also was also mourning as well.
Because and he's still mourning his mom, who also just passed a few years ago, actually not so long ago. So the wound, I know it's still fresh for him because I know him personally. So he's still suffering from that. And I know even when my grandmother was
a trigger for him.
It was a trigger.
So
sick. He could not face my grandmother when my grandmother was sick. He didn't see her because he couldn't deal with a sick person again, seeing somebody suffering again. And I know we've never shared this about my grandmother, Owamie. My grandmother, to what took her life, it was very sudden. My grandmother was fine. She was old, just like anybody else. She had chronic sicknesses. She had a heart disease, high blood. No.
Arthritis.
But
it was managed.
It was managed for years. Then, out of nowhere, one day we receive a message from the nurses to say your grandmother has a blister on her leg. A blister. But I'm like, why would a nurse tell you about a blister? We went, we saw it was something small that started like a blister.
Looks like then they suspected it's a bed sore, because now she was bedridden. She wasn't able to walk anymore.
Bed sore on a leg. We're like, how? It's a leg. Little did we know, her life is about to take the biggest turn ever. Day after day, that blister became bigger and bigger and bigger. They have private doctors that come to see them. The doctor came and the doctor said, this is, Konja, what is it called?
Gangrene.
yeah, they said it's gangrene. And we're like, what's that? We didn't even know what that is. And the doctor was like, this is irreversible. So it's only going to continue to eat up your grandmother's leg. Her leg is going to rot. And eventually, if it doesn't get amputated, it's going to self-amputate, which means that the fingers are going to start falling off, or her leg is going to self-amputate, which is going to fall off. We're like, how can an 88-year-old get an amputation? Like,
we've only heard that with people who have diabetes.
Yes,
she didn't have diabetes.
So we're like, she can barely walk. You know, how is her leg gonna get amputated? So that was terrifying for us, because we had to tell the family, this is what's happening to your mom. You know, our uncles and aunts, who are the best thing ever. You know, we always acknowledge them and really love them and respect them. And so we had to tell them, and now we're dealing with a family crisis, because what do you mean? We called a family meeting. We gathered all our family members, we prepared lunch, and we called everyone at home. We took my grandmother, took her home. We showed them, Gogo, guys, this is the situation. What now? The family had to decide. Are we getting the leg amputated, or we let it be or we leave it because she's old? And then we all decided, good, you know what, let's let the doctors decide based on the results. She went to hospital, got all the results. They did every test possible. I need to give credit to this hospital. Guys, let me tell you, when I say we got 5-star treatment, this is a public hospital. It's Kalafong Hospital. Okay. They did every test. The first day I went there, when my grandmother got admitted, we were put in a private room. They explained what's happening to her, what they're going to do to her. The next day, what tests are going to be conducted. I had never, even in a private hospital, I had never received treatment like that. And I always tell people, it's not because we're celebrities. I believe that doctor didn't even know me.
Yeah.
I'm like, my husband's like, no, babe, because they know. I'm like, they know me from where? Like, no one knows me here. My grandmother, within minutes, they got a decent bed for it. Oh, we were still casualty. Clean sheets that I've never seen. It was actually net care sheets. I don't know, maybe it got donated. Ironed, clean, spot clean. And I say this because my grandmother had the worst experiences in public hospitals. We have been to every hospital that you can possibly think of. There were hospitals where they put you on a bed full of other people's blood from who knows where. Yeah. So anyway, Kalafong Hospital, shout out, 5-star treatment. Then the next day, got there. After my grandmother was admitted, we got a report of all the different doctors or specialists. They gave us a report. All of them came back to say, your grandmother is dealing with bigger problems than this foot. At this point, we don't even know if she'll make it. She definitely failed the test to get her foot amputated. So she's not going to qualify for the surgery. She doesn't even qualify for ICU. So should anything happen to her, she can't even make it to ICU. So we can't amputate her leg because of all the results that came out. So now it was a matter of waiting until
and the leg got worse and
worse.
worse. And
We
just kept
literally
rotting.
watched
Her foot
her
was
leg
black.
rot.
Literally was black. It was hard. I think when she died, her leg was probably almost falling off.
It was
the
cold.
fingers
It's
were
like
dry.
coal black, and her entire foot, like we literally watched it go up like this. Her entire foot just became black, and by the time it was fully rotten and fully black, she was out. Stop talking, stop eating, stop doing anything. You will literally saw her deteriorate day by day in front of her
That was
eyes.
trauma. I think that was the biggest trauma for me. I'm like, I wish she passed another way, because it felt like punishment. I'm like, why did she have to die in such a painful way? Because she was screaming. Like, you could hear my grandmother from the gate screaming. That was her life until we got stronger medication that they gave her. And then we were like, phew. But stronger medication means your heart is going to become weaker, because obviously she's old. So there's certain medication they can't give her a high dose of. So it was that. So basically, is this episode about Gogo? The whole
Not
episode?
really.
I mean,
Let's talk about other things. There's other things I wanted to talk about.
I mean, what I love about YouTube is the fact that they don't limit us when it comes to time.
Yes.
You know? And I think that your people literally crucify me.
Yes.
Because everyone, you know, I mean, there are people that were unable to physically be there, but I know how much love you guys have. You know, and everyone, like, I saw so many people, like, you have definitely more love than hate. So many people were there for you guys. I'm sure you got a ton of messages. So for me, I think that I'm also trying to ask questions that I know that a lot of your followers have. High chances that this is the first and last time that you guys are actually even going to talk about this.
Yes.
And I feel like it was so bad that I started so strong. We started with tears and everything.
But can I just say something, right? I wanted to say something to my sister. I wanted to thank you, right, in this process for Gogo, because for the longest time, it was the three of us. And now we had to learn to survive, just the two of us. But I want to thank you, Sissy, for being emotionally present, for being so caring, for being so loving, for being so understanding, for being so strong, and for having the courage to live. Because I didn't think I'll make it. I didn't think I'll survive outside Gogo. I didn't find meaning in life anymore. But every time I was with you, I felt like it's gonna be okay. Made me feel so much better. As someone who could understand my pain and my hurt. So thank you. And I know Gogo would want this for us.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you that you were the reason why I wanted to continue. Even when I felt like I can't do it. I can't. Like my life is over. Like I'm suffering every day. It's a struggle. Every day, like the only person who meant something to us was Gogo. But I knew I had to wake up. I knew I had to try. I knew I had to live again because of you.
Sissy,
I wanted you to know that.
Thank you, Sissy. You're so sweet. I love you. I love you, Sissy. And I always say God was very intentional with us. And it makes sense every single time. With everything that we've lost, there's one thing that we've never lost is each other. And God knew we'd need each other. And God knew our different strengths. And I looked after Gogo for a very, very long time. I literally took Gogo as my responsibility.
Yes.
For a very long time, for years. And I let you go to work. I let you do other stuff. I was like, Sissy, whenever Gogo calls, I've got you. Don't feel bad if you're not there. Because at the time, your schedule was more busy than mine. And in the past 2 years, you stepped up and took Gogo and lived with her and looked after her. And my sister, let me tell you, my grandmother she was not tiny, if you had to change a diaper, you'd have to carry her, this one did it by herself. When 2 nurses had to do that, my sister did that. And you can imagine being public figures. My grandma didn't have a medical aid. Her medical aid expired because her funds ran out. Yeah. So, and because she's old, we couldn't get a new medical aid. We tried to take her to public hospital and become MacGyver and pay, but wow, it was a lot. I remember there was a time my sister and myself and my other uncle called Vincent, part of the Centtwinz Millicent Innocent, took her to a private hospital. And my grandmother was sick. I think it's a year before she passed. And they kept coming with us with invoices. We kept swiping.
Yeah.
And right there and there,
you make payment right there and there.
Yes, because they can't take the risk. But me and my sister literally were like, Sissy, we're going to clean out every single account.
There's
to
no
make
money
sure
equivalent
this
to her.
woman gets the funeral that she wants.
And she got it. Guys, I was there.
So beautiful.
Everything was perfection. Everything was perfection. And when I saw everything, I literally, I don't want to get emotional. But
Sorry.
I literally just thought of the two of you, and I was just so proud. I was just so proud because I knew that you guys were a huge part of why everything was the way that it was, from the casket to the tombstone to, guys, the food.
It was amazing.
It was like a wedding. And let me tell you a secret. So I'm standing in the queue.
So we had to. We're like,
I'm standing in the queue, right? And then your husband, he comes and he's passing my love. He's passing. So I'm like, how? My love, I've heard that for people to eat, they need connections. He's like, you need connections for food? I'm like, yes. He's like, I'm the one that slaughtered this cow by myself. You will get connections for food. He literally took me, had me get food, like my love, thank you. I literally said, like, guys, everything was just perfection.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so proud of you guys. And I also
Do you know
loved-
why? There's a big part why that was as well. My grandmother asked to be buried on top of my mother.
Oh, wow.
So we knew that we're going to relive a moment which we dreaded. And
Yeah.
we're like, it's going to feel like we're burying our mother, but this time as adults. So we just want them to have like a cute little place together.
Yeah.
So, but the longest time she told us, please make sure I'm buried on top of my one and only daughter. And we're just like, don't do that to us. Do you understand what that means? You're traumatizing
Now
us.
we're like burying our mom and like the
And
two
we had
most
to give it to
important
her.
people.
Okay, I think that, we have definitely spoken enough about
Yes.
Gogo. And when I was there, the funeral, I saw that, church people
Yes.
were definitely there. So that definitely showed me that you guys were definitely church girls.
Oh yeah.
So please just go ahead and tell us, because last time you guys said that you went through it all.
Yes.
Church hurt.
Yeah.
Please start.
Oh, it's called Church Hurts?
Yeah, church hurt
Even
is
as a
real.
title.
It does.
I think people take advantage of you when you are not raised with parents, because obviously your safe haven or your safe space is church, which definitely was that for us, especially with our first church, which we both went there together, which was absolutely beautiful, at the AFM in Mamelodi. But, as we grew older, a lot of, I don't want to say church people, let me be specific, or pastors or, some men of God, really, really did take advantage of us, of our vulnerability, of the fact that we did not have a father
Fatherless,
figure,
being fatherless.
So they come to you, or they came to us as a father figures, and you're like, oh, it feels so good to have a father figure, have you eaten? Do you need groceries? Do you need this? Do you need that? And then they just end up taking advantage of you. I think when my sister was in matric was the worst year, because the pastor that had, really volunteered to just help us out, because we had moved out of home very early, so we're staying in Pretoria, and we're staying in a flat and so forth. But then
To be closer to school.
How early? Like, you would say, how old were you guys?
Maybe
in
16,
high school.
Okay.
16 years, in high school.
And my grandmother was actually happy with us being away, because she wanted us away from the township setup.
Yeah.
So we're staying with a sister of ours, much, much older, very stern Christian as well. So we really enjoyed, that time. We
safe
grew
space,
spiritually.
yeah.
That's actually where our foundation was in terms of Christianity. And then we then found a church. Somehow, I don't know what happened for us to move out of the flat and move in with the pastor who was
But
staying.
that's what I'm saying. When they ask you, what do you need, this and this and this, and they come as a form of a solution. Kanti, it starts off being a solution, and the next thing somebody takes advantage of you, and they just like off ramp along the way. So we ended up staying at this house, and then which was fine,
He didn't have a wife.
He did,
and
a
kids.
wife and kids, but then it starts being an inappropriate. I think at some point he said to the wife, don't you think they should also be my wives? And then it was a laughing matter, and then people laughed. And me and my sister didn't find it funny. Because immediately I thought, then this guy's looking at us differently. We moved from being daughters in his eyes to him seeing us as wives. And that was the beginning of hell, if I can call it that way. Like, he tried it. I think if we're not together, we would have probably been raped. But because we're together, we saw it coming.
Yes,
And
we're
then
smart about it.
we're very smart about it.
I don't know what to call it, like a twin thing. Like even when we
Yes.
I don't know how to
even
say it.
when we were not communicating, we're communicating. It's like when somebody say they think they're ahead of you, we were ahead of him. We were just those two girls, vulnerable, these virgins, these Christians and whatever, and he wanted to take advantage, but
Because I think at some point he was fascinated the fact that we're virgins. I'm like, but we're in matric. What do you mean? Like, are we supposed to? Do you understand? Then just one night, he walked in to our bedroom and then literally just tried it. But you know what, Chair?
God protect us.
God protected us, and we from mom say, like, please don't try it.
And you know how the father was a gangster.
Don't try it.
The gangster side of you guys came out.
Listen,
Not really.
you know what?
It was
But in a very smart
quiet.
way. Like, I was like, not today, not tonight. You will not try it, and we protected each other.
So,
But that guy literally tried it. He ended up in our bed. Yeah, like he literally just maneuvered, and we just like, signaled our twin tele.
We're talking.
What? We're just like, okay, action, girl.
Did he like come in between you guys?
No, he came on the
bed.
my sister's side of the bed. Yeah.
And you guys didn't scream?
No.
Was his wife home?
Yes.
You guys, I'm shocked. Well, he's a pastor, so okay.
Hey, Owamza.
No, I think I'm still dealing with church yet. I don't
Yeah.
even go to church yet, but I want to go back. I'm going to actually come to church.
Yeah.
Yay.
But my goodness, that is so scary. And especially
Yes.
being young.
Yes.
So then after that night, what happens?
So what happened is that God, interesting, how this guy was there in bed and he managed to come without nothing. He just, at the time I didn't even know what coming means. I just when the bed is wet, I'm like, what did this guy just do? Did he pee on himself? Now knowing what I did, I'm like, this guy, did he just ejaculate without anything? Just sitting there in the bed. Holy
And then he
Spirit.
walked out.
And then he walked out and then he started communicating via words. He never spoke a word in that entire time. He communicated
letters.
everything with letters. And then I don't know what happened, but we're suspecting now that he was in the cult, because with everything that we saw.
So what happened? So what happened is that we never spoke about it. Right? We never spoke about it to anyone. We never spoke about it to him.
We didn't even
right?
tell
Obviously, he
anyone.
started acting weird and whatever, and then tried to manipulate the situation at some point, because a lot of pastors were actually trying it with us and trying to ask us out. I mean, we've always been curvaceous. Even when we're in high school, we've always just been
Well built and beautiful.
Yes, exactly. So when I guess they saw an opportunity, and then I think another older pastor tried to ask us out, and he heard us like having the conversation, telling someone like, yo, this guy really respected him. Now he's asking us out on a date and whatever.
He went for
which
it.
was another pastor. Ne? And then another pastor once called us and said to us, do you guys know what sexting is? I'm like, sexting? What's that? I don't know what that is. Right? And then he's like, yeah, no, we're gonna do that. Like, you guys must tell me when you're alone, we're gonna do that. And then we had to open up to some of the church leaders to say, gosh, you know what, we're having a problem. These pastors are busy, like,
They're honest.
asking us out, and then this one wants to sex, and this one. And then, did he not come to prophesy us that we have a spirit, and the spirit that we have is attracting pastors, and we making the pastors weak? So the problem is with us, and we need deliverance, because why are they being weak when these are proper men of God? These men of God are so we became the evil people.
Did
for
you
being
like?
ourselves?
And obviously, because you guys were young, did you believe?
He prayed for us.
He
We're like
cast out the
standing there.
demons. So
Well,
he says,
Jew is the demon, Shibubu. Like what?
And then he got invited to go and preach somewhere. And that day, we packed every single thing and forgot other stuff. But we packed whatever we could pack, ran and never looked back.
yeah.
Good
So
for you
we
guys.
escaped when the house was empty, when they didn't expect it. It's like you leave, people are there. When you come back, people are gone. That's how we left.
But then after experiencing so much of this, how have you managed to still keep your faith in the church? Because I see you guys go to church. You actually are a pastor now, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. Like I'm trying to understand, because you went through so much, especially being so young.
Yeah.
Did you guys never experience anger? Because obviously, like, being an adult, there's certain things that were done to me when I was still young and I couldn't fight for myself. Wherein now that I'm in a position to fight for myself, like, I go hard. Like, you don't even want to see me pissed off of the things you did to me when I was still young.
Yeah.
Did you guys not go through that anger process?
Not really, no. And in mentality, you're a victim, or I don't even know what to call this. But you love your perpetrator, so you don't hate them.
Okay.
So with one particular one, even after we left, I just felt like, oh no, he's like our father.
We miss him. You want
We
to call
miss
him and say
him. You
happy
wanna call
birthday
him.
on his birthday. And you want
And it's crazy because the
It's
person,
not
it's like you're
foolish.
crazy. So it's difficult to hate that person because they created, remember, they know
A
what they're doing. They
relationship.
created the relationship
And
with
the
you before they
manipulation,
and
the
manipulation.
emotional abuse
So this is why
gets to you.
people who are
Grooming.
abused, it's grooming. Correct. So that's why when you're abused, you go back to your abuser because they've mastered the art of luring you in.
Luckily, we didn't go back. But what
We never
happened
went
is that
back.
you were in matric, so she could not study because when she had to study, she was scared that he's
come
there.
in.
She never
And
studied.
he would.
She
So then I
literally
was like,
almost
if
failed
the
the
light is
matric.
on, this guy is gonna come in every single time.
She
So
never
I passed
studied.
matric without studying, but it was with
Come
the needle.
yeah.
You
And I
escaped
think
No,
my
literally.
sister always talks about it, but she never really talks about
The
why
reason.
she did so badly in matric.
I couldn't believe I passed.
I couldn't
was
believe
like,
it as well. I said, "You writing? I wanted to study on her behalf. Nama was scared. She was scared. It was
The
a
keys
disaster.
disappeared. We started locking the room. The next day, the key had disappeared. But yeah,
Is he still
we
alive?
survived all of that. Yes.
He's not a pastor anymore, though.
Maybe we should boil water and visit him.
Yeah,
No.
it's a lot. It's a lot, and I
It's
think
a lot.
I think a lot of people really like did that, and thank God none of our family members were one of the people that took advantage of us, because you know we were raised by uncles only. My mom was the only girl, and all we knew was them protecting us.
Yes,
but
and they
of
loved
course-
us. They respected us, our
Yes.
uncles. It's like, I know people with uncles, things happen, but we had the best uncles ever. We only received love. We only received care, you know, and I'll
But the
forever
men
be grateful.
outside
But the
showed us
men
flames.
outside,
Hey, even with relationships, I remember, just thinking to myself, if I don't break my virginity, one of these pastors are literally gonna rape me.
yes.
I was like, my next boyfriend is having it. You know what? Me, honestly, I was like, a stern Christian. I was like, Sissy, we're gonna break our virginity when we get married. Edna's gonna do this. I said to her, girl, we're gonna get raped. These people are going to take our virginity without our consent.
But the
But
point,
he
it
did.
was important.
Sissy.
It does.
For
I
what?
mean,
for your
your husband,
is the one that broke your
Some of
virginity.
us have ex-husbands already, so our future husband already knows.
No, it was important for me, and that for me, I hold on to that because I'm like, thank you that these monsters did not get this. Do you know that the person I made my vows to at least got, because wow,
It was a mess.
good
Yeah.
bed. But anyway, we survived by the grace of God. You asked a very important question. Did that not affect our relationship with God? No, because it's not God who hurt us. It's the people who claim to work for God who hurt us. And maybe it doesn't even mean they're not men of God, but I guess they fell into that temptation, whatever the case might be. But it was the relationship that we had with God that made us survive through all of those
Absolutely.
moments. Remember, God is not like man. He remains the same. He remains
it's
consistent.
people that
it's
are
people.
dodgy.
So yeah.
It's really people that are dodgy, and and it becomes a cycle, because the people that I dated after that was like pastors. Oh my gosh,
You dated a
that's why
pastor
to
before?
this
Yeah,
day,
She almost got married like this to a pastor.
To this
Pastor,
day,
I'm checking some flies.
I stop. To this day, you were supposed to be the Babu, not me. I was like, what? God knew, child.
That man of God, he's still a man of God.
No, but let me tell you, I am I'm saying, because you get attracted to what you know.
Yes,
we church
that's
girls. So
true.
for me, like, a man needs to be this.
A man of God.
A man of God. Exactly. So
Exactly.
that's what I was attracted to. If you're a worshiper or you preach really well, I'm like, come here. But you know what? But let me tell you what the pastor said to you.
Because Millie's hectic, very hectic. That pastor was traumatized by Millie.
Let me tell you, my husband must never and should never wake up and say he's a pastor. Ask I Toma Vangeli Eo.
That's
I
me
don't
as
have
well.
anything against men of God and people who wake up and tell their wives or they are going to be pastors. Me, it's not my department.
I almost also got in there. My
Hey!
Yes, no. My ex-husband. They were basically saying this branch is gonna be yours. I was
So
like,
why were you
to
swearing
hell
at him like
and
that?
back. You are
No,
gonna
you're
be a
swearing at
pastor.
the man of God.
No, I'm telling you. I told him. I was like, not here.
No, because
I
you
was
know
like,
when you
even
know
the car
people-
I'm taking you to, you're no longer going to church with this car. You will.
Do you know why? I think you like me. Me, I don't like actors. Please, first and foremost, if you're going to say you're a pastor and you're a pastor at church and at home, there's no sign of you being a pastor. I'm not a casting agent. I'm not casting you for an acting job. If you're going to act anyhow, I'm going to call you out and it goes over bird. So please, I'm not about that life. I'm not about people with double standards,
double lives, who pretend to be holier than thou in front of people, but yet you fail to respect the very person that you live with. So no, been there, done that. It's not going to happen. No thanks.
I mean, also looking at the fact that your husband is a pastor, but he has always been, so there is a difference. I think that
He hasn't always been.
Oh, is it?
5 years into our marriage,
Okay.
that's when he started the church.
But he's a good man. He's a
Yes,
good man.
he is.
He got me meat at the funeral. So he's definitely a good man. No, I mean, wow, that is actually absolutely crazy. Hey, I have some wild pastor stories. My cousin has gone through a lot because she's also like you. I think she's still stuck there. Like he has to be a worshiper and stuff. This other guy, like child, love scammer. That's just a pastor. Now, so he was marrying someone else. I saw him on Facebook. It was a whole thing. But
Shame.
yeah.
And some of them are good people, honestly, and honestly, like, I'm not discrediting people for who they are. They are amazing people. If it didn't work
This
out,
is going to
then
be
it-
2 episodes. Anyway, we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, no, you know what, shame, we're not I'm sure people also have things to say about you if you're in a relationship. There's two sides to the story.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I respect people who are married to pastors. I respect you. I respect everybody that's married to a pastor. Well done.
Amen.
And good luck.
I mean, I thought there was more that's coming. I thought there was more that's coming. No, I mean, definitely. I think that the only problem that I have right now is the fact that there's just so much pretense, know, even in churches. Like, for me, that's why I've found it so difficult. I think this is year 6 of me or 5 that I've not even gone to church, just because of I've just seen a lot of stuff. But not that I don't believe in God. I do. I've just really honestly lost belief in the institution of church because I've just seen so much, I mean, I was almost sexually assaulted by what do they call this? What do they call themselves? If you're not
Bishop, deacon,
the other one, evangelist or something.
Oh, evangelist.
Something somewhere there, And that was literally from church, me just delivering food to a man of God and serving the church, and so. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot. But before we actually leave, I actually want to just ask you guys quick questions, and you guys need to answer them like fast.
Quick, okay.
How does it feel to have someone that has your face?
Amazing. Everything. It is life. Okay.
Did you guys ever switch places growing up?
No.
So you never did the soul stuff? Okay.
Did we just have to know? Yes, we did.
You actually did. Okay. What would you say is the thing you love the most about your husbands?
I think I love that my husband makes me laugh.
Okay.
It's always happy. Like, my husband is an extremist. When he's happy, he's very happy. When he's angry, he's very angry. So he's extreme with everything. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. So, but I love the fact that I'm constantly laughing. Like it's just, yeah. Yeah, he makes me laugh. I think about my husband is that he is, he's a provider. He's a good provider and a good father.
And a good husband.
Why are you trying to be spicy, girl? I'm trying to.
Girl, you forgot one. Edit.
I'm editing my answers. Stop editing my answers.
Put it in there. Okay, what would you say you love the most about each other's husbands? Like, what you say I appreciate him for? Yeah.
Wow, I really, really appreciate Keith for his heart. I think my sister married a very, very good man. Keith is a very, very, very good man. Beautiful heart, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. I don't think I've seen him angry. His heart is so pure. I always tell my sister, I'm like, Keith is not perfect, but damn, girl, your man has a good heart, and she knows that. She knows that. He means well. Keith will never say no to anything under the sun. Keith is like, yeah, everybody's everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll never suffer under Keith's watch. Never.
Wow.
He's a very good person. I think what I love about her husband is he's very supportive. Yeah, he's really very, very supportive. Through, I think, since I've met him, through our highs
and lows, he's that guy that's there.
Present.
Yeah.
He's very, very present. He's there. Like, he's there so much, he irritates me. I'm just like, can you just
You're
stop?
always there. He's very present.
It's like
you
that
just go away. Yes. Like, get alive. Like, get alive. Why are you here? Like, can we just breathe? Like, you know. Yeah, but I think it's a great thing. Shem, he's really, really honestly always been there. He helped us also with an escape when we escaped one of our abusers.
Yes. He came with his car. At the time, I was driving a very small car. He's the one, because I told him, I hinted what was going on. He fetched us immediately. Let's go, and that's how we escape. So he helped the escapes, like prisoners escaping. So I'll always be grateful for that. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh,
That is
such an interesting
absolutely
question.
so beautiful.
We've never got it, Shem. Over
She's
2
so
minutes
good.
of shine.
Yeah, I mean, we have to highlight. I'm not gonna ask about like what do you hate the most. You know,
Yeah,
we're not
I
about
like
to expose
that.
them. So I think that is always just a positive thing. And I think that for me, at the funeral, I actually, between the two of you guys, because I was also just, if you saw me, guys, I was just standing there like a like I was like, all emotions should be switched off because I'm here for you guys.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to have me also breaking down and crying.
Yeah.
But I did love the fact that at the funeral, everyone was allowed to cry however they wanted. I loved that so much because I remember
shame.
the morning of my mother's funeral, we were told, you're not the first person to lose anyone. Like, don't embarrass us. So no one should cry. So we were sitting there
That's
like,
not nice.
you know, just looking at
you
everything.
have to cry.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was just like, wow, like this is so beautiful to
Our
watch.
family can cry, girl.
Yeah, I saw that.
Our kids, even our kids,
even
Our
the kids.
kids can cry.
Everyone was screaming.
Everyone was just screaming. It
Everyone.
was like, oh,
Made me feel him.
I was just praying. I'm like, yo, that video of me screaming, ne? I hope no one got it and no one posted because what a mess.
But that was definitely not an embarrassing moment. I think that it was an expression of pain.
Yes.
And I loved that everyone was so supportive. Like everyone was just so supported. But who came out first? You came out first.
I'm the
And then
older one.
Yes. And then you came out first. You got a chair. I had to go and fetch your chair down there so that you could sit down. Yes. Because
Uwami was right behind us.
yes,
actually.
I was.
Yes.
And then you know what is the
Talk
thing?
about you have our bag.
I mean, I definitely have I was like, my girls are not steady because I wanted to take the other chair.
And it
because
was hot. I saw
it
Uwami
was.
doing this. Ne? I was like, if you see a vendor girl doing this, you must know it is hot. But this girl left the tent there. And she was like, I'm going to be there for those girls.
Yeah.
And she stood in the sun.
Yeah,
Hi, girl.
no, we had to, you know.
deserve
I
you
wanted to
deserve a
take the
round of
chair. Then the
applause.
second chair there was an old woman sitting. I was like, damn, I can't have a stand. So I had to walk to the tent, and then I got someone young. I'm like, hey, give me the chair. And then I brought it. But the part that I actually want to say is that you actually did not see, but the time you were actually crying, when your husband was carrying you out, because I helped him, right?
Shout out to
then
husband.
Sit down. When you were busy crying,
Yeah.
your husband was kneeling next to you, and that man was crying.
No way.
You did not see that. I mean, I'm sorry to expose you, sir, but that really
I'm
touched
happy that
me.
he cried. At least
He was actually,
also, you know,
I saw
mourned.
his tears, you know, he was trying to cry like a man. But he was actually crying because at that point, you know, I met your husband, so your husband had never met me. So he didn't know who I am.
finally sort of,
you understand?
I
so
think it sort of finally like just hit him, and he just saw, like, you know, right, this one, like it's over. And I think he also had a very good relationship with my grandmother.
Yeah.
He also very good. I think they both, our husbands really
Gogo
looked
loved
after
him.
after her.
Yeah,
Shame.
you
Yeah.
know,
I'm glad that he had his moment as well. That's
so
important.
I'm actually just saying that because I know you were saying that, you know, you felt like emotionally he was not there.
Yeah.
But he was actually, he had emotions
when he was there.
when he was there. The time you were actually breaking down. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that your husband is so protective over you, because when I was trying to help him hold her, he was pulling her like, you know.
She's mine.
Up until
and
actually,
I am heavy, girl. Okay.
Not really.
I am so heavy. Yeah, just like,
you know, but that was honestly just, it was a really sad but it was also just a beautiful moment to
signs.
say, because your husband was also there, you know, they were both just so supportive. We were exchanging, holding the umbrella so that you guys at least had the shade and
I was like,
everything.
who's holding my bag? Because at that point it was just like a mess.
Yeah, you
shame.
know. But you do have so much love. We love you guys so much.
Thank you.
You are so sweet. You are so kind. Thank you for sharing your story on my channel.
Yeah.
You Hopefully we get to make the money you make on your channel, child.
Yes.
So bring those blessings
Those
here
zeros
as well. Okay.
come through this way. Tell your ninjas to subscribe to our channel, okay?
Or maybe no. Actually, guys, please watch the ads.
All of them.
All of them, please. And don't skip, okay? Not
Please.
skipping
Yes.
is actually something that is really, really good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. If I said there's going to be a part 3, I'd be stretching. So
Never say never.
Part 3 might actually be on to hell and back. Okay.
Yes.
Prophesy, girl.
Prophesy, and then we get deeper into this pastor and we visit him and we show him flames.
No, there's more. There's more passages.
There's
Other just that one. There's you all know yourselves.
You
better
know your
pray
dirty
for
self.
yourselves.
But anyway, thank you guys so much. We love you and see you on the next episode.
Yay.
Bye.